Well, I'm on the phone with head football coach Duane Crawford from Ellsworth High School. And, Coach, no rest for you on Labor Day, is there?
No, breaking down film right now, Chris, and just looking at Orono and our film from Friday night.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the game against Mattanawcook Academy on Friday night. And as I wrote in the article on the WDEA website, WDEA.am, turnovers are good if you're a baker. If you're a football team, it's not very good.
Yeah, they're not. They came in inappropriate times. Not that turnovers can come at any good time, but we'd stopped MA on their first drive, got the ball back, and ended up going down the field and not getting a first down, and then they came back down and ended up scoring on a missed assignment on coverage, and so we got the ball back and we're driving up the field, and Declan White had a pretty good run, 15, 20 yards, and the ball was stripped, and so that ended up being a score there, and we came back and scored on a really nice drive down the field to make it 14-8, and then stopped them, got the ball back, and turned it over again, and they scored off that. So there were 3 turnovers in the first half that they had 21 points on, and that we're 35-8 at halftime, and so that was pretty much the difference right there. And then I thought originally we had 7, but I think we had 5 turnovers total in the game, which still they scored on all 5. So there you have it.
Turnovers can be corrected. I mean, I know that there were a couple pass interceptions, there were some fumbles. It's a matter of look. I mean, this is still a very young team. I mean, you look upon the number of freshmen and sophomores playing, and it's just a matter of getting that varsity game experience and knowing, well, I shouldn't throw the ball. I'll tuck it and take a sack, and or just hang on to the ball. And sometimes it's a case of kids trying to do too much rather than go down and be tackled.
Yeah, and it is. It's we had the interceptions. The last interception was at the very end. There was less than a minute left in the game, and we threw a pick six in the end zone. They returned it 100 yards for the score. At that point, it didn't. I mean, there was only a minute left, and we were down, 42 or 48-8, something like that. But it's things. Connor had his first varsity game. He played really well. He had 79 yards rushing and another almost 60 passing. We had a couple of drop balls that 2 in the end zone, and another one that very well could have been a touchdown. It was in the flat with nothing but green grass between the receiver and the end zone. So, just things like that. But throwing late over the middle, those are things that you learn. With playing experience, you never want to do that because bad things happen, and that's where the 2 interceptions came from. And running around with the ball, in one hand and not protecting it, and just learning when to get rid of the ball and when not to. And so, like you said, it's game experience, and those are things that are correctable. And for the most part, even though the score doesn't reflect how well we played pretty well. You take those 5 turnovers out, and you've got a football game. So we tackled well. We had a few plays that we had some missed assignments, but that's that happens with a young team. But other than that, we were right there with it. We hit hard and played well and moved the ball well, and so all things that are correctable, and we can work on this week and get ready for Warner.
All right. So tell us what you do work on this week. I mean, you've got a quick week, and I mean we're now right in the throes of football season, and you've got the game at Orono Friday night.
Yeah, we work on. We went away from our double wing offense a little bit and went back to the wing T to try to get the ball moving a little bit more than we did against NDI, and looking at that, and I think that was probably, we're going to go back to the wing T because the runners, especially Declan, he had 70 or so yards against NDI, and we had 19 or so Friday night, and Jacob Shirley ended up with 79 yards, which in this offense, the fullback predominantly gets largest number of carries anyway where Jacob plays. But getting Declan back in that mode where he's moving when he gets the football and he hits the line so much faster when he does that as opposed to being in the backfield with the fullback. So we'll go back to that. We'll work on some option a little bit more. So that worked for us pretty well the other night. And so we'll work on developing that a little bit more. And the pass game, we threw the ball 15 times, which is more than we threw it the entire season last year. But, Connor throws a really good ball, and we have some kids that can catch it. And Duane Williams should be back for Friday night, so that gives us some more speed on the outside. He runs a 4.6 40, so that's pretty quick in this league. So we'll just work on that and defense and go out and play Friday night.
How did the team make out in terms of health-wise after the game against Mattanawcook Academy?
Just a few bumps and bruises, nothing serious. So they'll all be back on Tuesday and ready to go.
And like you said, you're getting some more people ready in who have not necessarily had practiced those 5 times, and you're getting some kids back who are unable to play against MA.
Yeah, Javon has been battling a hip flexor problem since midsummer, so that seems to be healed up. So we'll have him back, and so we'll be have everybody there. And Orono is a good team. I watched the tape on them in Mount View, and they're a good team. They've got some skill guys that are seniors that do a really good job in the backfield, quarterback and fullback. So they run that T offense the same as MDI, as well as a pro set, and they like to throw the ball out of. So we'll game plan for that and go out Friday night and play as hard as we can.
All right, Coach. Have a good week. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you on Thursday. I know that you're busy working, devising that plan and keeping everybody upbeat, and hopefully have a good week of practices and go out there and show Orono what the Ellsworth team is really like on Friday night.
Well, thanks. We will. The kids were really upbeat after the game, and like I said, they wanted to come out and practice today, but we felt that giving them this day to heal up was probably better. So they're ready to go, and they'll all be there tomorrow night, and we'll get after it.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.